Hey, I'm Kev Kerr, Mr. Kerr, and welcome to Power Oversteer, the remote short show on the ElusiveKev channel. And in today's episode, we are previewing the IndyCar Series round, the Honda Indy Toronto event in Toronto, Canada. One of only two races held outside the United States in the IndyCar Series Canada, along with the race in Sao Paulo, which was in April, actually early May. But yes, this race in Toronto, the only race in Canada now, with the sad demise of the Edmonton race, which happened last year. And the race in Toronto is normally exciting. It is another street race, a bit like Detroit, and like Detroit, it is featuring two races this weekend, just like it will be at Houston near the end of the calendar as well. So the two races this weekend, one of them is going to be a standing start. The first time standing starts have been in the American Open World, or been in an American Open World Series since Champ Car in 2007. And back then they did have a couple of stalls once they get used to the system. But by the end of the season, they kind of did get used to it. There were nice clean starts all over the place. Hopefully it will be that case here in Toronto. But going into Toronto, the standings in the Drivers' World, the Drivers' Championship, and leading it is Helio Castroneves, the veteran driver at Penske, with 356 points, ahead of reigning champion Ryan Hunter-Reay on 333. Marco Andretti is third with 301 points, with Scott Dixon winning last time out in Pocono, now on 291. James Hinchcliffe, who came last time out in Pocono with 272, completes the top 5, just a point ahead of Tony Kanaan, with Simon Pagenaud just 2 points further back in 7th. Justin Wilson has 253 points, with Will Power down in 9th with 242 points, just a point ahead of Takuma Sato, who completes the top 10. Dario Franchitti, after a strong podium last time out, with 237 points, just 4 points behind Sato, and just 3 points ahead of his Ganassi teammate Charlie Kimbo, who finished second last time out. Ed Carpenter, another solid top 10 in Pocono, now has 215 points, 3 ahead of EJ Viso and Joseph Newgarden, who got his first top 5 on an oval in IndyCar. Graham Rahal down in 16th with only 194 points, 4 ahead of his teammate James Jake. Simone Di Silvestro, the other KV racing driver, with 171 points, ahead of rookie Tristan Vautier, who has 158. Oriol Serba is still in the top 20 despite missing some events, with 151 points. Sebastian Bourdais, shocking season for the Dragon Racing driver, 147 points, with Alex Tagliani with 130 points. And of the regular drivers, Sebastian Salveja is last in 23rd with 123 points. He's just ahead of Mike Conway, who returned this weekend, and then he's got 97 points. And we also have Ryan Briscoe behind him on 79 points, who also returns in a National Guard car, the number 4 Panther Racing machine. So that is the standings. Let's look at some track facts. So the Honda Indy Toronto, and some track facts about it. Well, it's got 11 turns. It is 2.824 kilometers long, or 1.755 miles long. It's a street circuit, and it's located at Exhibition Place in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. It has been on the Champ Car World Series race. It was a Champ Car World Series racer known as the Molson Indy Toronto from 1986 to 2007. Unfortunately, due to the unification of American Open World Racing, it missed its events in 2008, but it came back in 2009 when Michael Andretti and his promotion company got the assets of the former Grand Prix of Toronto, and now it is known as the Honda Indy Toronto because it is sponsored by Honda Canada. And Michael Andretti is the all-time race win leader here with 7 victories, and you can expect from this race 85 laps, or 149.175 miles, of 240 kilometers. And the most successful team, along with Andretti, has been Newman Haas Racing with 7. Most wins by manufacturer has been Lola with 12, and of course we only have Dallara this weekend as a manufacturer. The surface is a mix of asphalt and concrete, one of these tracks in IndyCar which has one of these mixed surfaces, and it's going to be very tricky for the drivers on these 11 turns, a very tricky track, and we have seen many incidents and front wings gone in the recent years. That record round here is a 57.143, held by Gilles de Ferran in the Reynard Honda in 1999 in the kart series. But as I said, since 2009 it's been on the IndyCar series. And so the Honda Indy Toronto, it's had a very mixed history since its first event in 1986 when Bobby Rahal won in his True Sports machine, a March chassis and a Cosworth engine. He won the race in just over 2 hours with an average speed of 87.414. Compared this, Ryan Hunter-Reay won last year in the Andretti Autosport DRS Chevrolet. After 85 laps, his average speed was 95.787, and the race was just over an hour and a half long. And this was a much shorter race compared to the old DRS chassis. I'll never say that word right. In 2011, when it took almost 2 hours to complete the event, which Deo Franchitti controversially won after he had an incident with Real Power, his title rival, in that race. And so Toronto, as I said, mixed history, and it's a very popular place. Though around 25,000 people came last year, and it's had much higher attendances in the heyday of kart in the mid 90s, with about 100,000 there going there. But in the 96 race, the first race since the split in America, the kart event did have a tragedy when Jeff Kosnoff, I do really apologise I said that wrong, crashed with 4 laps remaining on the way to the tight turn 3, and he got over the back of Stefan Johansson's car and hit a telegraph pole and died on impact with the pole. He also unfortunately killed a marshal with this incident, Gary Avrid. Again, I really do apologise if I said that wrong. And Barbara Johnson also received injuries in that crash. Adrian Fernandez did win that race, which was stopped a lap later, just before they went to the accident scene. But there's been a variety of winners apart from Michael Andretti in this event, such as Canadian son Paul Tracy, who won it in 93. We've seen Alex Zanardi win it in 98. Even Mark Blundell won here in 97, and in his PacWest racing machine. In recent years, we have seen Sebastian Bourdais win it in 2004, Will Power in 2007 and 2010, Dario Franchitti in 2009, 2011, AJ Allmendinger 2006, Justin Wilson in 2005, and as I said last year, Ryan Hunter-Reay won it. And that is some track facts about the Honda Indy Toronto race. Let's do some predictions now. So some predictions for the Honda Indy Toronto races, and the qualifying has already been done for the first race. Dario Franchitti got pole with a 59.6756. Yes, they got a 4 decimal places in America. Sebastian Bourdais in the Dragon Racing machine. They made lots of changes in the final practice. Seems to have paid off. 59.7701 for his first front row start of the year, and on the street course again, just like in Detroit, showing some speed. Hopefully it continues and he finally gets lucky in the race. Real Power was in the 1 minute in third. Tony Kanaan was fourth. James Jakes in fifth with not a strong qualifying on the street course, just like in Detroit as well, where he got his career best finish second in the second race there. Scott Dixon was the last in the fast 6 in 6th. Ryan Hunter-Reay 7th. Harry Kushner 8th. Justin Wilson 9th. Ryan Biscoe 10th, rounding out top 10 in that Panther machine. Marco Andretti, Takuma Sato right behind him. Simon Pagenaud, James Hinchcliffe, disappointing 14th for the Andretti Autosport driver and home favourite here in his home race. EJ Viso 15th, Charlie Kimball 16th. Alex Tagliani, the veteran Canadian, in 17th. Graham Hill 18th. Joseph Newgard in 19th. Mike Conway down in 20th. Very disappointing for the Rahal Nangan machine there. Expect much more from him, especially after he performed in Detroit with the win and podium. Tristan Volte 21st, Samuel Di Silvestro in the 1 minute 01s in 22nd, along with Ed Carpenter and Sebastian Saveja in last on his Dragon Racing machine. So quite a contrast for the Dragon Racing machines here. Now, I do expect this race to be chaotic. I do expect a few incidents. We've had safety cars quite a few times in recent years. We have lots of aero fouls. We have lots of front ring changes. I'll be very surprised if there are bought enough front rings for the carnage I predict that will happen in these races. But I do really hope the first standing start for a very long time in the American Oval racing, for over 6 years, does go well. I do maybe expect someone to stall. Not everyone has road course experience in these standing starts. Some of the Champ Car guys do, of course, and Dario Franchitti, who's probably done it in DTM long ago, and of course Sebastian Bourdais, Will Power, James Jakes with GP2 experience, and Ryan Hunter-Reay, who did A1 GP if I remember correctly. So yeah, there's quite a few guys with experience of standing starts here, but yeah, I do expect maybe someone to stall, but I do really hope it goes really well, and we are going to see a mess going to turn 3. I can almost guarantee it. There will be some pass and moves. It will be dubious, and maybe we'll see some front wing damage. But the guy to survive this mess, the driver to survive this mess, well, that's a bit tougher to predict, as it could be anyone who has their race affected, of course. And I will go for Will Power to finally get some luck and to finally win one of these races, to finally win a race for over a year now, unbelievably, and yeah, to finally make a bit of a charge for that top 5 spot which James Hinchcliffe holds at the moment. To be up there with him, I expect like Tony Kanani. He does seem to avoid trouble well, even if he did clip Scott Dixon's front ring last time out in Pocono. But I can guarantee he's probably going to be quite good in the race. I expect Dario Franchitti to be up there, starting a pole. Could maybe win all of these, but I'm not quite sure about his pace during the race. Sometimes he seems to be drifting back at times in the race. He did that in Detroit, and then he came through and he drove quite well in the second race, I remember, with Scott Dixon. So yeah, expect to see the Ganassi boys up there. Expect to see someone from the midfield really jump up. Maybe Charlie Kimball, who got second here last year. James Hinchcliffe, Ijo Viso in those Andretti Autosport machines, which have been very fast this year. Takuma Sato, of course, Simon Pagenaud. Pagenaud very good on street courses as well. So there's quite a few guys to look out for, especially Mike Conway, who, despite qualifying 20th, I reckon he might be a dark horse for one of these races, probably the second race being down there in 20th. But yeah, no for him to be a dark horse for these races. So to win one race, Will Power. To win the other, maybe a Ganassi boy, maybe Scott Dixon or Dario Franchitti win the other. He's starting to sound like Penske Ganassi again. But yeah, I do expect maybe one of those to win, with, as I said, Mike Conway being a dark horse, and maybe James Jakes as well, qualifying 5th in that first race. If he can avoid trouble, he'd be right up there as well. So that is my predictions for the Honda Indy Toronto events. As I said, I do expect some damage, but I hope it's not carnage. I hope they put on a good show there in those 2 races. And the first race is 8 PM, I believe, UK time tonight, and tomorrow it'll be about, I think, earlier, around 6. I think tomorrow. Don't don't hold me to that, but I think tomorrow it probably will be a bit earlier, that race. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the thing here. You can click ahead now to different sections of the program, and I'll put information on this instead of just having a sign there. So I hope you enjoyed that, and start for watching. So till next time, cheerio.